Hi, it's Jeff.
And Denise from Mousesteps.com.
And this is episode number 190.
190.
Of Mousesteps Weekly.
Sponsored by MEI Travel and Mousefan Travel. They handle all sorts of vacations, especially Walt Disney World. They're specialists to Disney World, Disneyland, Alani. They are a terrific place to go to for vacations.
Worldwide travel.
Worldwide travel.
Not to mention Universal.
Absolutely, and cruising. So they are a one-stop shop.
Also, our original sponsor, Theme Park Connection. We just stopped by and picked up a ton of old eyes and ears.
I like the vintage paper.
Some interesting stuff you found, too.
Yep, and they also have Hunger Games items in. So it's not just Disney, it's a lot of Disney, but there's other items as well.
And also Maple Leaf Tickets, our official ticket agency. The best deals on tickets in town. We're going to start off at Epcot for the Frozen 5K.
And what Jeff means by that is that everybody's going to start walking and running to Frozen Ever After, which opened last week.
That's right. June 21st was opening day. We were there. We got there at about 8 in the morning. There's our friend over there, Matt from Attractions. Not running, by the way, walking briskly.
I did not realize until I'm watching the video now that so many people were running, because we were actually not that far back in line.
We were 8 people back.
Is that how many? Because I didn't count. So we were there, and it was like, I felt like we were doing pretty good. We were walking pretty fast, but then you arrive, and
this is what we arrived to.
So I felt like we were doing good, but when you get there, it's like, well, maybe we didn't do as good as we thought.
Now,
I thought.
You've done the Run Disney races. This looks like what I imagine a corral would be.
It is kind of like that. But everybody, everybody's pretty good here, too. Now everybody's
It's much
walking.
more orderly.
Well, you mean more orderly from when we first entered the gates and everybody was running.
Yes. When the gates opened, the running happened.
And that was around 8:35 or so. And then we got here maybe a couple minutes after 9.
Right. Because they held everybody at Mexico until just before 9. And then here you go. All the people are going around the corner. And there it is. There is Frozen Ever After. That's right. Mexico. Not one person, I don't think, stopped at Mexico. And I'm waiting for my friends, the stragglers. Where are they? There. Right over there with the IT crowd shirt, I believe.
Oh, there I am.
So I let a few hundred or so people.
You should have gone. You should have gone with
But
Jeremiah.
I enjoyed spending the time with you, and we had a great time talking with our friend Benji, just catching up on things. He's from out of town, so it was a good time. But look at all the people there waiting for Frozen Ever After.
It was. I don't want to say it's busier than I thought. It wasn't busier than I thought, but it used to be when you went to these morning events. It wasn't that bad, and now this was crazy.
Well, it's only 105 minutes at about 10 minutes after 9 there, and we're being greeted by the official ambassador of Disney.
Well, when we got in
Disney
line,
World, I should say.
Yes, when we got in line, it was about 40 minutes, it said, but it really wasn't. It was like 2 hours. Right, Nathaniel Palma is the one of the ambassadors, and he was there. He was there for hours, which surprised me. It was very hot out, so I was very impressed by that.
So now we're looking at the queue, very nice queue. Over on the right-hand side is the Fast Pass, and it was very empty this day because they probably didn't give out Fast Passes during the first half hour or so.
Well, I believe maybe at least for the first hour, because we had friends who were going through the Fast Pass and said that they were told to go through early.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that.
Right, Deb was told to go through early.
That makes sense.
So there's little references just all over the queue, and personally, I liked waiting a couple of hours just so that I could, read
take it all in.
And yes, right. The first time. I don't want to be in line all the time, but it was fun. For me, it was good the first time to be able to do that, because it really is an extension of the ride, of the attraction, to be able to have the time to read everything. Plus, we'll see the Oaken
Sauna, yes, which is absolutely the highlight of the queue. To me, if you wait in Fast Pass, the main thing, probably the only thing you're really going to miss is the Oaken's Sauna. And is it worth 3 hours to see that? I don't think so, at least not for me. If you can get an hour and a half or so wait, then it's probably worth it. It is a really cool thing, like we said before.
But we have a friend, Aaron, who waited a whole 6 hours, and he totally thought it was worth it.
Right, well.
Even though he lives here, and can go on any time.
Well, that is an unusual situation.
Yes.
I think your average guest would not want to wait 6 hours for anything, but that's just me.
We don't usually wait 6 hours for anything either.
Anyway, this area here is the former exit area of the old Maelstrom attraction. This is where the Norwegian town used to be, and the Spirit of Norway movie. They have taken that movie area away, turned it into more queue, but we're about to see the Oaken's Tokens and Sauna we talked about before.
Well, the good thing is that when the ride broke down one of the times,
yes,
we were in
unfortunately,
here.
It breaks down quite often
Well,
these days.
eventually it will get better. But when we were here, so it turned out really good because they have all these little vignettes, if that's how you say it. Maybe at least 4 of them, and we saw all of them. And this was really fun because he's making Olaf, and then he sticks his face into it.
You love this. You
do
very
love
much
this.
enjoy this.
This was one of my favorite
Happy
parts
to
of
wait
the queue.
3 hours to see it. Apparently.
No, we only waited 2 hours.
No, you said it's worth the 3-hour wait to see it.
I think that if somebody is going and you really want to see the queue, I think it's nice for a couple of hours to kind of really absorb it.
It is an awesome effect. He does say a bunch of different things. We have all of them on our extended experience video. We'll link to that in the show notes. Now we're getting closer and closer. We're about to board the ride. There is a sign saying you may get wet.
Yes, I mean, and we didn't get wet. Not like
Not
Pirates of the Caribbean,
wet
no.
or splash wet.
No, it was just maybe a couple little drops. It was fine, and we were in the front row at least once, right? I mean, we did different rows.
Right. Well, I would recommend, if you have a choice at all, I would recommend the last row, and also the right-hand side seems to be the best place to be.
Right. Well, there's a lot more that seems to go on the right-hand side. Including some of the animatronics.
And the closer in the boat that you sit, you're kind of blocked by the little Viking thing there. Mm-hmm. So anyway, it's a wonderful dark ride. They did a great job. The first thing you're going to see is this tremendous animatronic of Olaf, which, by the way, was not working the first time we went through.
Right, and we had people guess in front of us who were like, "Oh, it's not working," and I'm just like, I'm thinking, what's not working? Because I had no idea what was going to happen in the first scene.
And even Sven wasn't working, but you really need this to work, because this is great. He sort of notices you, he walks, he talks, he follows you. It's just an amazing start to the attraction.
Right, and again, the first time we rode, this was just still. It wasn't doing anything. So, everybody was talking about it. It's like, oh, I didn't see anything.
It actually took 3 ride-throughs over 2 days and much waiting to get a perfect experience with everything working. But we did do it. It was well worth it. But, they're having a little trouble.
And here we are passing by Troll Valley. And so you see Anna and Elsa in the background there. But, they really did a great job with the animatronics here.
I love this little guy telling us we're about to go up to the Ice Palace. And you might remember this from the previous ride. You are not the first, nor shall you be the last to pass this way.
As you go up the hill.
That's right.
And this is, the attraction is, they say, the winter and summer celebration. So you'll kind of see that as you're going through. Also, you have the original voice talent from the movie, which I think is awesome.
That's great.
Yeah, and also, not all the songs, at the end, the Let It Go was the same, but other songs have new words, so they got the creators of Frozen to write some new dialogue.
Right, and a lot of new animation as well.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
So we're greeted by a giant snowflake. I wonder what that could mean.
I don't know. Maybe eventually it will say, "Hi, Denise." I don't know,
Well, this is sort of the main part of the ride. We see our friend Olaf again, who is now ice skating. Olaf is very active in this ride, isn't he?
Yes, and right now he's in the winter version of Frozen.
And there is Anna and Kristoff.
And you have Sven also. And I thought at first that he had something holding him there, and yes, he is, but
it's
with
his tongue. The tongue effect is great.
I thought he had a leash, but it turns out he had a tongue.
Very stretchable tongue. The Sven there, tremendous. They did a great job with him.
So this is really, it is a beautiful ride. Like, I don't know anybody who has not enjoyed this yet. Even those who are kind of cynical about Frozen.
You have to appreciate the technology.
Yes.
This is where the trolls used to be. This is where you would hear, back, back, over the falls.
Not the trolls from Frozen, but the trolls from Maelstrom.
Yes, this is the former Maelstrom troll area, but now you're hearing, let it go, let it go.
And I'm not sure I like the projection technology as much as I like the standard animatronics, but it's
agree.
You can really see her very well as you're coming back here, as we're going back.
Right, and we just passed a polar bear. It would have been a polar bear. But now you're seeing
a lot of Elsa.
Elsa, yes, right. She's freezing Arendelle. and every place else, apparently. This is one of the cooler effects, though, literally, as you see the smoke effect is working, and now you're going to see all those little guys. What are they called again?
Snogies.
Snogies, all the little snogies, which, if you think about how they came to creation, is kind of yucky.
Well, it's okay. And Marshmallow.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And we'll see Marshmallow.
Marshmallow, another great effect, and there he is. We're about to do the typical stop and turn and going down the plunge.
But no waterfall behind you. I mean, there is a waterfall, but there used to be a hole where you could kind of look out, and now
that has been sealed.
It is
fully
dark.
Sealed.
I don't know why. I like that.
Well, they need the darkness, and they don't want to give away this part of the ride. And here is the Arctic breath of Marshmallow and a little Snogie on the way down, and now we're in Arendelle.
And here is, you've got all the fireworks and everything, so
celebration
it's a big
time.
Celebration.
Yes. So you're seeing the town and all that. Now you're going to go into the final scene, which is, I believe, in summer with slightly different lyrics.
Right. Most of the songs do have a little bit, I mentioned earlier, lyrics just a little bit different. But again, when you're going backwards and Elsa singing Let It Go, I think that is the same. It seemed to be the same.
Yeah, I believe that's pretty much the same. And here's Olaf, Anna, and Elsa that we just talked about. It's a great way to end the ride. You go around the corner and it's all done. And there's those projected faces that you're not quite sure about.
Well, when I went over to Mexico and there was nobody in the Mexico pavilion except just a very small amount of guests, you go through their attraction, the Grand Fiesta Tour, and they have the vintage audio animatronics, and those are just so impressive. I mean, these are different, and they're impressive in their own way.
You're talking about the Three Caballeros.
Yes, and I just like the older ones a little bit better.
And those are truly vintage because they're from the 70s, from the old Mickey Mouse Revue. So anyway, we're coming to the end of the ride. You see the nice painting of Arendelle, keeping in the theme, and you're exiting just about where you got on the ride.
Well, it is. It's a beautiful attraction. It's just a delightful attraction. I just hope pretty soon they should be able to get it back down where the line isn't like this.
Well,
hopefully.
This is what the line has kind of been like on and off. 300 minutes there on opening day. What is that, 5 hours?
That is 5 hours.
Wow.
But we knew somebody who waited, I guess, 6 because of the breakdown.
Yes.
So that was a long time.
But, it's still growing pains. Oh, but there's entertainment.
Yes.
You have entertainment, which makes the 5 hours just fly by when you interact with these fine Vikings.
I don't know if was he over there by the line?
Oh, yes. I don't know. Yes, we just told him it's a 5-hour wait. So he's, even though he doesn't speak English, he's, 5 hours.
Well, he may speak English. And here we went to Akershus. I just want to say thank you to Benji over at Laughing Place. They took us out to lunch.
Yes, and keeping with the theme, and it was so nice to catch up. Really, the highlight was catching up with our friend, but we were going to show you what it's been. I haven't been to Akershus since before they had princesses.
I did go when they had princesses, but a long time ago, when they first started princesses, around 2000.
So it's very different from my last experience. The first thing you do is you meet Belle.
Yes, and this is sort of like some of the other, like Cinderella's Royal Table also, I believe, still has like the meet and greet first before you head
And
upstairs.
I've never done that. Last time I was there was King Stephen's.
It's been like 10 years
It's been a long time.
There.
And we, of course, had to ask Belle if she had been on Frozen Ever After. This was opening
day. Of
day.
course you had to ask her because it's right
that's
outside.
what I do. Yes. And she had not been on the ride.
None of the
We informed all the
had been on it.
princesses should get together and have a mass visit there. And there we are with, this is the picture, the photo pass. You get a free photo pass picture. So I wanted to show you what you get with your experience. And before we had time to get any food, Cinderella herself came over to greet us.
Yes, and we were in an area, actually we were very close to the buffet. I mean, really close to the buffet.
They saw we were 3 adults without kids, so they put us right next to the buffet, apparently.
And all the characters came around pretty quickly. I mean, except for Ariel, that took a few more minutes. But, I mean, within like 5 minutes, I think we had 2 or 3 princesses
There's Aurora there, and here is that buffet we talked about. It's sort of a cold buffet, and, just what kids want when they're meeting a princess, it would be some smoked mackerel and some smoked salmon and asparagus. It was quite wonderful for me, but I don't know if the kids would. I think they have a special kids menu also.
Well, I was going to say, I'm not really into Norwegian food as much. I don't care for seafood really at all. So but I still found enough to eat on the buffet, like the asparagus and the potato salad and the salad. So I thought it was quite nice. And here is Ariel. I believe was she our last princess?
Oh no, you
was it
cannot
Jasmine?
forget about Jasmine.
Okay.
Which I think you kind of shocked Jasmine. She was talking to us, and all of a sudden
I took a picture
and flashed right in her eyes.
I don't think it was bad.
Poor Jasmine had to recover slightly.
I'm sure she's used to people taking pictures of her, maybe with a phone more, but I think she was okay.
She was great fun. We told her all about that 5-hour line, and we actually showed her out the window this big line to go on Frozen Ever After. She wasn't quite sure what that was, but we told her to round up all the other princesses.
By we, not me. I'm not
this.
Saying any of this.
Well, they also had a little princess procession with all the kids, and due to time restraints, we're not going to really show that, but that was very nice too. All the kids loved it.
Yeah, and I just thought it was a really good experience. I wasn't sure about whether I should go or not, and I really enjoyed it.
Well, you had the Swedish meatballs.
Yes, I mean, I don't know how to say the name of them. It starts with a K. But that was actually pretty good. I've had a lot of Swedish meatballs this weekend. I've never
we're going to show.
IKEA.
We're going to show the other. Yeah, I know we've never been.
I've never been.
And I think this was like a fisherman's stew, but it had scallops, it had shrimp. I loved it. I thought it was great. The whole meal for me was wonderful. It was a perfect experience.
They must change the menu a lot because every site I went to, including Disney, had a different menu. This is the dessert. There's a rice cream. And then there's a chocolate item. I don't even know what they all are, but they were very, very good.
And it was for the table to split, and there was no problem with 3 of us and those 3 desserts. And here's another picture with us and the princesses, or one of the princesses. And again, for 3 adults with no kids, we had a great time.
We did.
I would highly recommend it. You can even see, this reminds me of what it used to look like inside the castle. So they must have decorated for royalty, the royalty that is visiting there.
Probably like 15 years ago they decorated.
To me, it's like a brand new thing, but it's been going on for quite some time. Also, in the food vein, the Kringla Bakery has enhanced their offerings.
Don't say enhanced, because we lost one of our favorite items.
That's true. They never had breakfast before, and now you can get, those are the breakfast items on the top, and all sorts of meat items and seafood items on the bottom. Those are still there for lunch. And we had the little snow globe, and the snow globe was
really good. It's like cheesecake and brownie. That's pretty much what it is. And then also they have these frozen mini cupcakes. We didn't get anything else except we got more meatballs. So a big meatball week.
Swedish meatball. The Anna's birthday cupcake looks quite good, by the way.
I feel like maybe we haven't had that, but I feel like we've had a lot of the specialty cupcakes. I'm not sure if we've had that.
And did we mention that we lost the roast beef sandwich? Our favorite item.
I know, we used to get that actually fairly often. And this is the Swedish meatballs, and it's actually 2 meatballs and then mashed potatoes in the center. I think for $7.50 you should get at least 1 more ball.
I would think that's a good thing. I concur. Also, we had the snow globe there. I really liked the snow globe.
And I keep wanting to call it a snowball, because to me that's what...
You're talking about those meatballs. You got balls.
No, that's not why. I just mean it looks to me like a snowball more than a snow globe. And then, again, you have cream cheese and then the brownie. And that was actually a better dessert than it even looked. So I thought that was a nice one.
I would definitely get that again.
And then I headed over to, while you were on Frozen Ever After a second time, because you had a fast pass and I did not, I headed over to Mexico. And I mentioned earlier, there was nobody in here, so I was able to get right on the ride. I actually rode back to back, talking to some guests who also stayed on.
You didn't even have to get off the boat, right?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't get off at all.
Spectacular.
So, and here are the 3 caballeros. So it was terrific to be able to just stay on to go in there and not have to wait.
And because of the extended hours, we have breakfast now at Mexico, and we had this item.
And I was actually against getting anything here because it all sounded terrible, but this was not bad. Actually, this was good.
It was very good. This. You would get that again.
It doesn't look like something I would want.
No.
I don't know what it is.
It's the 3rd one down.
Yes.
And I cannot pronounce it. Look back.
There's like guacamole in it, and I believe there's beef, and it's brioche.
It sounds awful.
It does.
It is wonderful.
It was really good. So, at least give Mexico a chance for breakfast.
Right. In a tranquil location, looking out over the water. What a good, very nice experience. Also, Turtle Talk with Crush has been updated with the Finding Dory characters.
And this was probably in the last couple months, but this was the first time we had been inside since. And you have like Hank, who's the octopus.
There he is.
Bailey,
there's Hank right there.
Right, and then you have obviously still have Crush, and Dory has been part of the attraction, I guess, for a long time. But they brought in some of the newer movie characters, and we saw the movie too.
Yeah, we really liked it. I thought Finding Dory was a great film. I highly recommend that. And here comes Bailey, another one of the new characters, a beluga whale. You know, we've been getting some questions on the YouTube video that we put up, and we do have the full show. We'll link to the show notes. And one of the questions was, people thought this was not an attraction, but something only to be found on the cruise ship. So I found that to be interesting. People equate it to the cruise ship. This predates the cruise ship.
Right. This has been around at least what, like 8 to 10 years, maybe probably at least.
Right.
And
a while. It's different every time, you know, and really the audience makes it. Sometimes the kids ask kind of cute questions, and you know, it's fun. I saw this twice to get as many characters, like there's Destiny there, as many characters as I could, and it was really charming. I recommend, if you haven't seen it in a while, give it another chance. It's quite good.
Well, I actually hadn't realized that. I mean, the ship, they've only had it on for maybe a couple of years. Well, no, maybe a little longer, because when we did the Disney Dream Media Cruise, isn't that when they started it?
That's when it first came out on the Disney Dream.
So we're looking at almost 5 years now. But still, you know, it's interesting to me that guests think that was first as opposed to
a standalone attraction here. And also they have the attraction in Disney California Adventure as well.
I don't think I've ever seen it there.
Yeah, it's in Hollywoodland in the Disney Animation Building.
Well, we should check that out next time.
Definitely check it out. Also, just in case you don't know, it's now on the Disney Magic.
Oh, an Animator's Palette again.
Right, the updated version on that ship.
Okay, well, we'll have to check that out eventually, too.
Of course. So now we're going to go to Legoland, Florida.
So we were here for they called it the Miniland 400 competition. And what it is that NASCAR driver Casey Mears came to visit Legoland, and he raced against Layla, who is a 10-year-old Make-A-Wish child. And of course he lost, so we're just going to tell you that up front, that he did not win the race in his little Geico car.
Layla is quite the driver, although I think she put him into the wall at the last turn there. So it's quite interesting.
I guess that Geico car just didn't have enough power or something. No,
that's right. That's very true.
So we always enjoy the events out here at Legoland, and especially its Miniland area. It's fantastic.
There she goes, right into the fence for him.
Yes. So
into the Lego bricks, I should say.
So this was a really nice event. We also will be talking to Chip Weil. He's the president of Daytona International Speedway. He is the one there with the
checkered flag next to Brickbeard, the pirate there.
So and here she is getting her trophy. And I think we will see Casey getting his trophy in a minute, too, which was not nearly as big as hers.
Right. Well, she certainly was quite happy to receive. And poor Casey did not get quite the same trophy style there, didn't you?
No, and you were a big NASCAR fan, so this must have been, you know, a lot of fun for you.
Well, it was really great for me, especially to see what they've done with the new Daytona. I guess you could call it Daytona Rising. I mean, we've been to the track. We've seen the track just transform in the last few years, and they're going to put their little figures. They both have figures they're putting in Victory Lane, of course.
Well, this is the whole Miniland has so many different models, and these are huge. I mean, you're talking about like billions of pieces, probably not billions, but a lot of pieces. This is the Daytona. They changed it to the new Daytona Stadium.
Right. The previous model would have looked out of place because Daytona itself has had such a transformation. It's the first motorsports stadium, they call it. You can see there are the injectors, which really is an entrance way to go into your different seating areas. They have escalators, which I know you appreciate the escalators.
Well, we both do, because those stairs were killer sometimes.
Oh, they were.
Really.
I mean, especially if you have in racing, the best seats are the highest seats, and they are many rows up. Now we'll be talking to new Daytona International Speedway President Chip Weil all about the Legoland and Daytona partnership.
So I'm Chip Weil. I'm the president of the Daytona International Speedway.
So what do you think of this model?
Oh my gosh, it is such a great representation of the real thing. you know, you think about the money and the effort behind what we did at Daytona, and then to come down here and meet the folks who've spent an enormous amount of time and effort to put this back in Legoland and to make it a true representation of the Daytona Rising project is pretty amazing.
It was very accurate, right down to all those escalators that we love so much.
Yeah, you know, we have 40 escalators on the property, and I counted quite a few of them right here. So, you know, the design team said they spent a lot of time looking at pictures of the facility, trying to make it as accurate as possible, and it shows.
How closely do you work with Legoland on this?
So our team in Daytona, led by TJ Goko, really worked with the team down here to make sure we gave them all the information they needed to try to make this a true representation of the new Daytona International Speedway. And just looking at all the detail behind it, they've done a great job.
What's going on with the track now? What's the big news at the real Daytona?
Well, you know, we've been busy. We had our first Country 500 over Memorial Day weekend, 3 days of country music at the infield of the Daytona International Speedway. Last weekend we had Global Rallycross for 3 days, and then now we're prepping for the Coke Zero 400 powered by Coca-Cola. You know, that's a big task. It's our big summer extravaganza from a NASCAR perspective, so we're getting ready for that. And after that, you know, hopefully everybody will get a couple of weeks to take a deep breath. The challenge is we have so much going on at Daytona every day, so it's hard for us to take a deep breath, but you know, our team is so good, and they do such an incredible job that it's like clockwork when we have something going on.
Lots going on at Daytona, as you just heard. Plus, this week again, the Coke Zero 400. I can't wait.
So, and also, I believe that's Casey Mears' car, right? Going round and round, the number 13.
Oh, yes. Celebrating the victory.
That he didn't,
although he did not quite
win.
As you can see, the model has changed greatly. We'll have a standalone video of this eventually. It is tremendous to go there. I mean, if you're sitting in the high seats, you are way up above the stadium.
And you're talking about it's tremendous to go to the new stadium or Legoland, because we
both.
We are Legoland pass holders, and you are a NASCAR fan, so you got it covered.
The best of both worlds. Well, you know what time it is. Time to say it is another show.
Yes, it's another show, thanks to Mouse Fan and MEI Travel.
Yes, and also Maple Leaf Tickets and our original sponsor, Theme Park Connection. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you all next week.
Have a great week.